Hey guys, this is Cam315. I am back at it with another video for you guys, and we are finally back with some more Batwoman. Batwoman has been on a break for quite a while, honestly, and it recently returned last night, which I totally freaking forgot. I watched this week's episode this morning after I was done with my online classes for school, which, again, fine by me. But this episode kind of was interesting. Mostly from other things outside of the Batwoman main character, enemy of the week storyline going on here. I was kind of more interested in the background information, especially that cliffhanger at the end of the episode. So anyways, the episode starts off with Batwoman taking out some false face society members, asking where Black Mask is and who Black Mask is. And she's like, please tell me, please tell me who Black Mask is and what he's planning and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyways, one of the more interesting storylines, which could be very freaking interesting, is the fact that Jacob's storyline, it seems to be taking a turn for the worse for him. Because this man, as he looks like he's about to leave the Crow's base, he gets captured by a false face society member, and he kind of gets knocked out. Only when he wakes up, he sees that he has been given Snakebite, or he's been essentially he was forcibly injected with Snakebite, which we know strips you the F out. It's essentially the new drug on the street that makes you, I guess, addicted to it, I guess you can say. And we see what the hell he goes on through this damn episode, because we see him have we cut over and we see him have a flashback to when he was looking for Beth, and we see in this, I guess, reality, you might say, this dream world he's dreaming of, it's, I guess, a what if scenario if he just continuously looked for Beth, and he might have just, had killed the guy who was holding her hostage, and he finds Beth and he's like, I knew I found you, and stuff like that. We'll get back to that later. Now, we see Ryan go to the prison to talk to Angelique, and he kind of tells her that she is working on getting this community center started to help these kids not be able to get into trouble, not be in poverty and stuff like that, and end up with a good lifestyle and stuff like that. So that's when we actually see this community center's open house. And as the presentation's happening, we see this is a good way to help the kids, get out of the decent, darkest of worlds, to make sure that they end on the right path and everything. And then we see this reporter called Horton Spence, who kind of asks are you sure this is good with everything that's been going on in Gotham as of late? I don't think this is a good thing. And then we see this girl Amani be like, bruh, please. This factually helps out people, and we're gonna continuously do this and stuff like that. I think you need to leave. So, after that happens, we find out that Sophie's sister is also helping running the community center there too. That's when we meet Amani. Ryan meets Amani. It seems like they might be developing some sort of relationship there too. I don't know. Ryan, this show has 3 love interests in the show. Sophie, this Amani character, and Angelique. I don't know, but okay. We find out that Ryan will be teaching the martial arts course in the community center, so that's pretty cool, and stuff like that. But then the center comes under attack under this guy with this freaking electric gun, and we're led to believe that it was Horton Spence that did this. Now, when we come back from the commercial break, the radio people call this villain Kilovolt. Really? Really? You might as well should have just called this motherfucker Shocker. Oh wait, you can't do that. Copyright to Marvel. But Kilovolt. Okay, that's a funny ass name. Ryan and the other in the Bat team think that it's Horton Spence that did it, because we find out that, this dude does not work for the Gotham Gazette, even though he said he did back at the community center open house and stuff like that. Now we cut over to Julia, and Sophie's talking to Julia, and essentially Julia's telling Sophie, look, I don't remember being at any of these places, at all, which we already know she got her memory erased by Enigma, and stuff like that. Now, she remembers drinking, but not too much to the point where she would be hungover, where she would forget it. and stuff like that. Two, she also has another crow come to her and say she's got a tip about, this break-in to a place under the ownership of this guy named August Cartwright. So yeah, which essentially, long story short, we find out this whole tip was a message from Alice. She goes over there, Julia goes over there, and Alice wants to work with Julia to essentially find a way to leave Gotham, and stuff like that. Because, hey, fine by me. Two, she's also looking for a woman named Enigma and stuff like that. And essentially, it seems like Alice wants, Enigma to erase her, I guess, memories of Alice so she can leave Gotham and start on a clean slate where she's a good person and stuff like that. In the meantime, it's funny because Julia's like, oh, really? That's funny because I scheduled somebody. And lo and behold, the person we see that Julia scheduled is Enigma. And she walks up into the Crow's facility, and that's when Jacob meets Enigma. Getting back to the Jacob storyline and stuff like that. And she's essentially there to help the Crows with trying to stop the Snakebite serum and the stuff like that. Now we call her back to Batwoman stuff, and Batwoman finds Horton Spence, but Kilovolt shows up to put out the evidence that that's not him, and he kind of shoots at her, or shoots at them. If the gun hits both of them, it trashes, I think, the evidence he had, and then it really hurts Horton. Horton eventually gets taken back to Mary's clinic that's kind of been on lockdown, but she reopens it to help him and stuff like that. Now, again, coming back from the next commercial break, Luke does some digging. They find out that Kilovolt is Michael Costrinos, and we find out that he's been locked up in prison for 3 years and stuff like that. So yeah, we cut over to Julia and Alice. They're talking a bit, and then Alice kind of clarifies on why she wants her memories to be forgotten. Alice essentially says she wants to forget the person who caused Kate to not care about Alice from season 1 and stuff like that. Now, two, again, cutting back to Jacob's storyline. I know I'm going all over the place, but hey, I'm just following my notes. We see Jacob essentially, he essentially is getting therapy from Enigma, and essentially is telling her look, I just wanted, he's like, I wanted to do what I want to do, and that's just saving, my daughter Beth, and I regret that wholeheartedly and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, who won it? And we know he's on shaky terms with Mary, and he's like, look, I lost the trust in my daughter Mary. I have nobody. My family's gone. She's the only family I've left and stuff like that. And you just have Enigma's like, well, maybe the best thing to do is reconnecting with your daughter, essentially, which he tries to do at the end of the episode, but it doesn't work out for him, and stuff like that. So yeah. Now, what we find out is Ryan goes to the prison to talk to Mickey, which is the dude's nickname, and essentially Luke's Ryan thinks it's Mickey, especially after the whole thing, because he got a laceration. I remember giving the person a cut and stuff like that. But Luke says, look, he's been under high watch and he ain't been going nowhere and stuff like that. Now Ryan goes to Angelique to again release the information about the people that killed the commissioner. Eventually, we see that Angelique confesses to Sophie about who killed the commissioner, and essentially Sophie's like, listen, when I run by the DA, we'll see if we can get her out, but there's no guarantees and stuff like that. So yeah. Now we actually cut over to Black Mask, and Black Mask is pissed. This man started shooting some false face aside. He's like, dude, why are we not making no more snake bites, type of freaking drug over here? And essentially if this one false face society member is like, well, boss, Ocean's gone. And then guess what? One of our best people is in prison. So what do you want us to do about it? There's nothing we can do about it. And stuff like that. So Black Mask is getting literally pissed. And stuff like that. So yeah. Now, going back to the whole Kilovolt storyline, Luke essentially finds out that, guess what? These people who had parole healings have kind of been let out free. Long story short, this guy named Ellis O'Brien has been letting these prisoners out to do these biddings to mess up these community type of center things, because guess what? It makes sense, because you would want these kids to be screwed up and go to jail, because it's only going to make the jail more money, which makes you more money. Man, don't you love government? I hate the government. Anyways, long story short, it's a friggin' fucked up type of way to get to, not have these community centers to help these kids so you can make more money. Now, let me just tell you something straight. How fucked up you gotta be to be like, I want these kids to be freaking prisoners. I want these kids to mess up their lives and go to jail so I can get a quick buck. Really? Really? I guess the things people do for money, right? If you ask me, that's kind of a fucked up world type of thinking type of bullshit. You want fucking kids to fuck up and actually go to jail so you make more money for your prisons? Oh, please. If that's really the case, then you really need to go to jail yourself. And stuff like that. So, yeah, that was interesting. Now, we actually see Roman Sionis. I didn't see the subs. I think it is Roman, because I think I overheard Jacob say, oh, what are you doing here, Roman? And we know Jacob does not like Roman Sionis, who we all know that is Black Mass too. Essentially, he's like, yeah, I know you're in the whole business of Snakebite and trying to get rid of it, so I got one vial of Snakebite here and stuff like that, so I hope you get rid of it and stuff like that, which, again, it kind of makes sense if, he's Black. We know Roman Sionis is Black Mass, and he knows that he would already have taken it because he's addicted to it and stuff like that. And we clearly see, too, that, Jacob is in the withdrawal position of the Snakebite. And we'll get to that at the end of the episode and stuff like that. Now, Julia finds Enigma, and she goes to talk to Enigma. And eventually, she calls Enigma out, and Julia almost captures her. But then Enigma's like, you're not going to get me today, because I'm just going to make you forget about me. And I guess she takes her little cane thing, stabs Julia in the leg. It makes Julia pass out, and it makes Julia, I guess, forget about that encounter. So Julia is losing her memories about Enigma and stuff like that. Essentially what happens in the Batwoman thing, which, again, like I said, I didn't really care about the Batwoman storyline, to be honest. I care about the other storylines and stuff like that in the show. Batwoman finds O'Brien. She gets ganged up by people that have more than one electro kilovolt gun. It's looking like she's getting ganged up and she's gonna probably die. But then Luke shows up and takes them all out and kind of saves the day. So yeah, pretty cool. Now, the last thing to talk about with Alice is she hears the recordings of Jacob's session from Enigma, and this is kind of what she meant by erasing what she wanted to know, essentially erasing, I guess, the fact that she still has whatever feelings for her dad, that she still loves her dad, stuff like that. And she's like, I'm sorry, Daddy. And it's like, it looked at first like, oh, they're making Alice sympathetic. They're making her feel bad for what she's doing and stuff like that. And she's like, but I gotta move on. I don't give a fuck. And I'm like, well, so much for that. And she just deleted the recording. And I question what the hell's that gonna be about, but okay. So that's the thing. Now Jacob heads over to Mary's clinic a bit, and he kind of tells Mary, like, look, I want to make your clinic legal. We can get you some doctors and stuff like that. And Mary's like, no, I don't want that. I did this because it's my getaway. It's my thing to make me happy. I'm helping people. And you took that away from me. And guess what? I don't care. If you want to take it away from me, you're going to have to arrest me. Other than that, I want nothing to do with you because you ruined it from the start and I will never forgive you. And that kind of makes Jacob kind of a little disappointed because now he's all alone because he's got no Kate, he's got no Beth, now he's got no Mary. All his daughters have somewhat rejected him in a way. Well, Kate really didn't because Kate's, to him, is dead. But, it's interesting and stuff like that. So, yeah. Now, Sophie does tell Ryan that Angelique is going to be let go. We also see Ryan talk a little bit to Amani, and it looks like they're having they might be getting something going on there. But Sophie walks in, she tells that Angelique's out. She's going to be put in like a witness protection program and taken off the grid so they don't know where she's at. So she's been safe till Black Man is captured. But So much for that, and I'll talk about that end credit scene soon, and stuff like that. Now, one of the end credit scene is Jacob essentially with his depressed self is like, I got nothing left for me, and he friggin' opens this vault. He turns off, the lighting in his room. He looks at this vault. He goes, pulls out a drawer, and he has the Snakebite, thing which Roman Sionis gave him, and he's looking at it, and he's like, and then he just grabs it, and then he's just like, yeah! And then he takes it, and then he just is going back, revealing the, essentially, now it's like, well, Jacob Kane's a drug addict now. I'm guessing he must have took some tips from Lynn Stewart from Black Lightning, because if you watch Black Lightning, that's what Lynn was doing, shooting herself up, just like our boy Jacob Kane. Oh my goodness. I don't know where this is going at, but is this man gonna be like a bad guy now? Because man, this guy is gonna be on stuff, man. He's gonna be on stuff. It's gonna be interesting. Maybe that's how, he'll get Mary's trust back. Mary will save him from the Snakebite stuff. So yeah, maybe find a cure where he's able to have medicine to recover from it. Obviously he's definitely addicted to it now. If he wasn't addicted to it before, he's addicted to it now. So that's the thing. And the next end credit scene is looking like Angelique's gonna be taken off the grid in some witness protection program, but then the False Space Society somehow finds them and captures her again, and she's taken. Essentially, that's what Ryan's gonna have to do in the next the next few episodes, look for Angelique. But I thought it was a solid episode of Batwoman. The only negative I have for the episode was kind of just the Batwoman content we got in this episode. Like, I honestly gave no fucks about the Batwoman content, if I'm being honest. I gave no care, for what Ryan was doing as Batwoman in this episode. It was just kind of a villain of the week gig. I care mostly about the Jacob Kane stuff and the Enigma stuff that we got in this episode. I didn't really care about the Batwoman stuff, and then the end credit stuff was more than enough. So again, Black Mass is making his moves, and he's trying to make sure he has complete control of the situation. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys liked the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode of Batwoman, as well as hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Batwoman episode reviews, as well as any of the other reviews for any of the other CW DC TV shows. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. Until then, guys, I'll see you guys on the next video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.